Today's video is sponsored by Tecovas Boots, and they're fantastic. So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I think we have a very interesting video for you today. Now check this out. What we have here is 2 lifts, 1, 2, of red pine lumber. Most of it is all sawn 4/4. And by the way, 4/4 means it is 1 inch thick. 4/4 equals 1 inch. The reason they talk about lumber that way, years ago, all the old sawmills, each adjustment would adjust the thickness of the boards 1/4 of an inch. So they would say, you know, I want 6/4, which would be 1.5 inches, or 8/4, which would be 2 inches, or 4/4, like this, would be 1 inch. Now, there's not a lot of value in softwood. This red pine right here, it's real nice lumber, don't get me wrong, but it's probably only worth, as it's sitting there, maybe $1.50 a board foot, maybe $2 a board foot. That would be a stretch, okay? Somewhere between $1.50, $2 a board foot. Now, the small operations, such as my tiny little operation here, it would be hard for me to make money sawing softwoods like this red pine. But I use this stuff quite a bit. Like I'm building a building out in the clearing right now. We sell some of it, and it would just be difficult to make a lot of money, in my opinion, selling, sawing and selling softwoods if you're a small operation. Now, the real big outfits, they can still do it, because they work in big volumes, I mean, if they make a nickel a board foot and they're selling train carload after train carload, they're going to make some money. But for the small guys, I think it's a little bit difficult. Now, like I said, this is worth somewheres around $1.50, $2 a board foot, at best. Now, this red pine is kind of similar to white pine. Red pine is a little bit harder. Now, here in Pennsylvania, back in the day, they sawed a lot of white pine. I mean a lot. And hemlock as well. They pretty much decimated the forests of Pennsylvania. Back the late 1800s, all the lumber for the big cities in the Northeast, a lot of that came from Pennsylvania forests, and they cut everything. And like I said, it was wiped out. They'd have logging camps set up everywhere. These guys would go in, someone would scout the timber, they'd build literally a little town, everything you would need, all the food, they'd have blacksmiths in there, anything you'd need to produce that lumber, and then they'd haul it, by rail to the sawmill. Sometimes they would set up sawmills right on site, but they cut pretty much everything, and it was ugly, it really was. But back then, they did all that work for probably about $0.01 a board foot. It's amazing. 1894, something like that. I mean, it's a long time ago, but when you think about it, the price of this lumber has increased probably about 19 or 20,000% since 1894, and I have the receipts to prove it. So when I say I got the receipts, I got the receipts. Check this out. This right here is from a company called Dambaugh Lumber. Now, they were a local lumber yard in town, and they were in business up until probably somewhere in the early 80s. And I think they started their operations sometime around the Civil War. But this company was in business for a very long time. There were 3 generations, and the 3rd generation, they did not have any more kids, and they ended up closing down the business probably maybe when I was in junior high or high school, sometime at that point. But they were a big company, and they bought a lot of lumber, all of their lumber probably from northern Pennsylvania, north of us. And like I was saying, back then they cut everything, and everything was shipped down to this Dambaugh Lumber, and they had a rail spur there or whatever to unload. And they were kind of ahead of their time. They had like home kits like Sears used to have, where you could order an entire house and they had everything for it. But these books, I've got several of them. They came from a friend of mine. I'm borrowing them, and we were looking through them the other night, and they are just fascinating. These are all the receipts from their purchases, buying wholesale from all the sawmills up north. So check out this one right here. This is from September 3rd, 1895. Damball Lumber bought 350 pieces, 1 by 12 by 20. I think that's 307 pieces, 1 by 12 by 18, 118, 1 by 10 by 18. Total cost was about $148, I think is what that says. But they bought this from V. McDonald, Pine, Hemlock, and Hardwood Lumber. 140, I can't tell, yeah, I think it's $148 for all that lumber. So they were paying about $10.25 per 1,000 board feet. So 10.25 divided by 1,000 works out to 0.01025. So about a penny a board foot is what they're paying for all that lumber. Here's another one from the Nicola Brothers Lumber Company. 957 pieces, 2 by 4 by 18 feet long, hemlock. Total cost $106.23. And this was in 1896. Here's another one here from the same company, the Nicola Brothers Lumber Company, April 3rd, 1895. 910 pieces, 2 by 4 by 18 hemlock, $101. But this entire book, I'm trying to be very careful with it, is just filled. There's some 1 by 6 by 16 hemlock. There's some hardwood stuff in here as well. But there's several of these books, and I'm just going to have to keep going through these things. They're amazing. Earlier, I mentioned that today's video was sponsored by Tecovas Boots, and they make a quality, comfortable boot. They really do. I love mine, and I have some big news to report. They now offer a variety of beautifully crafted, high quality, and to me, most important, comfortable work boot. This will be my new boot for down at the wood yard, for cutting firewood, running the sawmill. These have a composite toe. Very, very nice boots. They make good stuff. They really do. Now, on a normal day around here, I wear boots on average, no exaggeration here, from probably 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. each day. And a comfortable pair of boots is essential. It really is. If you take care of your feet, they take care of you. Now, each boot is handcrafted from premium materials to withstand the most demanding work environments, combining rugged durability with comfort. They are fully waterproof. They also meet the ASTM standards for safety toe, slip resistant, and protection from electrical hazards to ensure safety and comfort in every environment. And they also have what they call a muck-off. That's muck-off. Tread design for maximum traction. This anti-slip rubber compound features a self-cleaning design that prevents mud buildup, ensuring superior grip in all conditions. Total Energy Command, that is a combination of specialized footbed for enhanced comfort, non-woven insole with an integrated shank for added stability and safety, and a high-performance eTPU filler that provides energy return and enduring comfort. And we all know how important that is. Bottom line is this: Tecovas makes great boots, and they're fantastic, and I love them. If you don't believe me, go back to one of my other sponsored videos and read through some of the comments from people that own Tecovas. They're just a great boot. If you'd like more information, there will be a link in the description. Check it out. Here's another one right here from March 31st, 1896. 483 pieces, 2 by 6 by 18 hemlock, $80.42. You can see there they are paying $9.25 per 1,000 board feet. So we have been talking a lot about board feet of lumber. All that is, if you don't know, is a unit of measurement for the volume of lumber, and it's equal to the volume of a board that is 1 foot long, 1 foot wide, and 1 inch thick. It is equivalent to 144 cubic inches, no matter how you shake it. pulling down to the wood yard. There's a big old doe there right behind the wood bunker. That may be the one with the bum leg, I'm not sure, but she was laying down and I saw her stand up there. They like that spot for some reason. Right there behind the old wood bunker. So this lumber that we looked at the beginning of this video, I said, you know, it's worth around $1.50, maybe $2 a board foot. At $1.50 a board foot, that means that lumber prices have increased about 15,000% since the late 1800s. Now, I looked up some other stuff as a comparison. Gold prices have increased about 12,000%. So not that far off. And obviously, this is more about inflation than anything else. But I am really intrigued and interested in history, and especially when it comes to how they used to log. I think it's fascinating. I've got this fully hydraulic sawmill down here. I've got a excavator. I grab logs out of the pile, saw lumber, and it's still a lot of work. It really is. It's a lot of work, even with a fully hydraulic mill, handling the lumber as it comes off the mill. And I can't imagine how difficult it must have been back in the day. You know, those guys were really good at what they did, extremely hard workers. All the loggers back then, they were looked like little scrawny guys, you know what I mean? But they were strong as heck, and a very, very difficult job. If you are interested in more of this kind of stuff, and you're ever in the area of the PA Lumber Museum, it's up on Route 6. It's definitely worth a visit to that establishment there. You can go in. They've got all kind of pictures and old saws, and you can sit through a whole video about the history of Pennsylvania logging. And like I said, this state was decimated. I mean, they took everything, all the white pine, all the hemlock, and it's just interesting to see how things have progressed over the years. And the lumber business has always been a tough business. It has. I worked in different businesses. I was in oil and gas for about 11 years, and there's some similarities between the two as far as boom cycles and bust cycles. And it's a tough way to make a living, but somebody has to do it. And it's just amazing the usefulness of wood. You know what I mean? And we talk about burning wood in the wood stove. All the technology that we have today, I haven't seen anything that comes close to actual wood heat, you know? Today, we're running the mini split in the building because it's like 45, 50 degrees. It was cooking in there last night, so I let the fire burn out. And I was just telling Hannah, I said, that mini split works good in these temperatures. It brings everything, it warms everything up, but as soon as you shut it off, it gets cold again. Where the wood stove, it just heats everything up, you know? But if you think of all the different products and uses out of a truly renewable resource like wood, it's amazing. It really is. All the things you can build from it. It's just incredible seeing how it has all evolved over the years. It really is. So like I said, if you're interested in that type of thing and you're in the area, go to the PA Lumber Museum. Check that out. I'm going to go through more of those books that I have. I don't even know how to approach it or present it on video because there's just so much information out there in those books. Now, there was some receipts from a door and sash company that was really interesting as well. There'd be like 15, 6-panel doors, solid wood doors was like $30 or something. Just incredible to think about it. And how they produced that lumber back then for a penny a board foot. It's incredible. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. Like I said, let me know if you want to see more of those books. We'll go through them. Maybe do a live some night or something and just kind of leaf through them and stuff like that. But I think that's about it. Appreciate y'all being here. Catch you on the next one.